Shohei Ohtani and Crow-Armstrong both went deep twice. Boston blew out Arizona 11-1, and the Reds and Cardinals split a wild doubleheader in Cincinnati on a jam-packed day around the league. The Cardinals opened their Cincinnati doubleheader with a tight 2-1 win over the Reds. Dane Myers gave Cincinnati its only run with a solo home run, but St. Louis countered just enough to hang on. Louis Gastelum earned the win for St. Louis, working a scoreless inning with 2 strikeouts, and Riley O'Brien slammed the door with a one-inning save to lock down the opener. Louis got hits from Jordan Walker, Blaze Jordan, Alec Burleson, Everson Pereira, and Masson Wynn, while Sal Stewart and Myers were the lone Reds with hits in a low-scoring, pitching-heavy afternoon. It was a crisp 2-hour and 40-minute game in front of 20,434 fans, setting the stage for a much wilder nightcap between the same two clubs just a few hours later. In the nightcap of their Cincinnati doubleheader, the Reds flipped the script and topped the Cardinals 6-5 in a back-and-forth slugfest. Dane Myers went deep for the second time on the day, and Ivan Herrera answered with a home run of his own for St. Louis, but Cincinnati's lineup did just enough damage to escape with a win. Eugenio Suarez led the way, going 3 for 3 with an RBI, a streaming-worthy line for fantasy managers scanning the wire, while J.J. Bleday added a 3 for 4 night. Jordan Walker kept his day rolling with a 3 for 5 effort and a stolen base after his multi-hit game in the opener. Emilio Pagan picked up the win for Cincinnati with a scoreless 2-strikeout inning out of the bullpen. Ellie De La Cruz, Sal Stewart, Michael Toglia, and Matt McLain also reached base as Cincinnati salvaged one game in the split doubleheader. Tampa Bay outlasted Baltimore 7-6 at home in a home run derby, with both lineups combining for 6 long balls. Jorge Mateo, Ryan Vilade, and Yandy Diaz all went deep for the Rays, while Pete Alonso, Christian Encarnacion Strand, and Kobe Mayo answered with homers of their own for the Orioles. Encarnacion Strand was the offensive standout of the night, going 3 for 5 with 4 RBI in a losing effort, a huge fantasy line even in defeat. Richie Palacios and Christian Franklin each swiped a bag for their respective teams. Cam Booster picked up the win for Tampa Bay with a scoreless 3-strikeout relief outing, and Brian Baker slammed the door with a save to preserve the 1-run victory. It was a slugfest from start to finish, with Tampa Bay's power ultimately proving the difference in front of 10,159 fans. Philadelphia held off Miami 6-5 to extend its winning streak to 4 straight games. Bryce Harper paced the Phillies' offense, going 3 for 4, while Miami's Brian Navarrito provided the Marlins' lone home run in the loss. Christopher Sanchez was excellent on the mound for Philadelphia, going 6 innings with just 1 earned run and 6 strikeouts to earn the win, and closer Joan Duran locked things down with a scoreless save. Alec Boehm also collected a hit for the Phillies, extending his hitting streak to 7 straight games as Philadelphia's lineup continues to click up and down the order. Justin Crawford, J.T. Realmuto, Bryson Stott, Kyle Schwarber, Trea Turner, Luis Ariz, and Derek Hill all chipped in hits as well. Miami got contributions from Griffin Canine, Esteury Ruiz, Javier Sonoja, Xavier Edwards, Agustin Ramirez, Leo Jimenez, Navarrito, and Otto Lopez, but it wasn't enough to slow down a red-hot Phillies club in front of 37,544 fans at Citizens Bank Park. Detroit powered past Pittsburgh 8-5 on the road behind a balanced offensive attack. Zach McKinstry went 3 for 4 with an RBI, and Hao Yuli matched him hit for hit, going 3 for 3 with 2 RBI, while Kevin McGonigal added a home run for the Tigers. Framber Valdez battled through 5.2 innings, allowing 4 earned runs with 5 strikeouts, but did enough to pick up the win, and Kenley Jansen closed it out with a scoreless save. Pittsburgh got hits from Nick York, Brandon Lowe, Henry Davis, and Nick Gonzalez, but couldn't keep pace with Detroit's deeper lineup, which also saw Brett Callahan, Gleyber Torres, Max Clark, Dylan Dingler, and Colt Keith all reach base. The Tigers' offense proved too much in a game that stretched 3 hours and 18 minutes in front of 21,956 fans. Boston completely dismantled Arizona 11-1 at Fenway Park in the day's most lopsided result. Wilson Contreras and Mickey Gasper both went deep for the Red Sox, who got a 3 for 4 night with an RBI from Caleb Durbin, who also swiped a bag, and a 3 for 5, 1 RBI effort from Set and Rafaela. Brian Bello worked 4.2 innings and allowed just 1 earned run with 3 strikeouts to pick up the win as Boston's offense did the rest. Adley Rutschman, Will Abreu, Nick Sawgard and Ali White also had hits for the Red Sox in a 9-man barrage. Arizona managed just a handful of hits from Tim Tawa, Jose Fernandez, and Gabriel Moreno and never found an answer, falling behind early in a game that was over quickly and finished in a brisk 2:47. The Mets edged the Padres 2-1 in a tightly pitched, low-scoring affair at Citi Field, extending New York's winning streak to 4 straight games. Nolan McLean was terrific on the mound, going 6 innings and allowing just 1 earned run with 3 strikeouts to earn the win, and Daniel Duarte slammed the door with a scoreless save to seal it. Bo Bichette, Carson Bench, Marcus Semien, Jorge Polanco, and A.J. Ewing all had hits for New York, while San Diego's offense got singles from Luis Rengifo, Jackson Merrill, Gavin Sheets, Manny Machado, Ty France, and Jake Cronenworth, who extended his own hitting streak to 7 straight games in a losing effort. Neither team homered, and the game moved briskly in 2 hours and 23 minutes as the Mets pitching staff continued to carry the club during its 4-game surge. Kansas City slugged its way past the Athletics 9-5 at home, powered by Bobby Witt Jr., who homered, drove in 3 runs, went 3 for 4, and stole a base in a complete performance. Jack Caglianon backed him up with a 3 for 5, 2 RBI night of his own. The Athletics didn't go quietly, with Tommy White, Jeff McNeil, and Bryant Servan all homering, but it wasn't enough to overcome Kansas City's offense. Michael Wacha worked 5 innings and allowed 4 earned runs with 3 strikeouts to pick up the win, and Steven Cruz closed it out with a scoreless save. Carter Jensen, Salvador Perez, Michael Massey, Vinny Pasquantino, Kyle Isbell, and Michael Garcia all reached base for the Royals as well, rounding out a 9-hit attack that proved too much for Oakland's pitching staff to handle in front of 12,438 fans. Minnesota took down Atlanta 4-2 in a quieter, pitching forward contest with no home runs on either side. Travis Adams picked up the win for the Twins after 2 scoreless innings with 3 strikeouts out of the bullpen, and Yoendrys Gomez closed it out with a scoreless save. Cody Clements, Josh Bell, Alan Rodin, Kalen Culpepper, Royce Lewis, Byron Buxton, and Luke Kershaw all collected hits for Minnesota in a balanced offensive effort. Atlanta got production from Michael Harris Roman II, Drake Baldwin, Matt Olson, Ronald Acuna Jr., Ozzie Albies, and Austin Riley, but couldn't close the gap against the Twins' bullpen. It was a workmanlike win for Minnesota, who leaned on situational pitching rather than the long ball, and the game featured a 51-minute weather delay before wrapping up at 2 hours and 40 minutes. The Cubs blitzed the White Sox 7-5 at Wrigley Field behind one of the day's best individual performances. Pete Crow-Armstrong crushed 2 home runs and finished 4 for 5 with 3 RBI, while Shota Imanaga was dominant on the mound, striking out 10 over 6 innings. Seiya Suzuki added a solo shot of his own, and Nico Hoerner went 4 for 5 with 2 RBI, with Alex Bregman chipping in a 3 for 4 night. Crow-Armstrong also stole a base, capping a 5-tool showing that's a must-watch fantasy line for anyone streaming outfielders this week. The White Sox didn't go down easily, getting home runs from Randall Grichuk and Andrew Benintendi, along with hits from Braden Montgomery and Miguel Vargas, but Chicago's offensive onslaught proved too much. Jacob Webb picked up the win in relief to seal it in front of 40,354 fans, capping one of the most complete performances of the day across the league, anchored by Imanada's dominant strikeout clinic on the mound. The Dodgers routed the Rockies 11-5 in Colorado, powered by a monster night from Shohei Ohtani, who blasted 2 home runs, drove in 3, and finished 4 for 5 at the plate, a huge 2-homer fantasy performance. Freddie Freeman backed him up, going 3 for 5 with an RBI, and Andy Pages chipped in a 3 for 4 night with 2 RBI. Max Muncy also went deep for Los Angeles in a high-scoring win. Blake Snell was excellent on the mound, working 6 innings and allowing just 1 earned run with 5 strikeouts to pick up the win. Colorado's Jake McCarthy stole a base, and the Rockies got hits from Adael Amador, Willie Castro, Brett Sullivan, TJ Rumfield, Connor Morby, and Zach Bean. But the Dodgers' offensive firepower was simply too much to overcome in a game that saw Los Angeles pull away for good. Alec Bohm kept his bat hot for the Phillies, extending his hitting streak to 7 straight games as Philadelphia's win streak reached 4 in a row. Padres infielder Jake Cronenworth matched him with his own 7-game hitting streak, even in a losing effort against the Mets. Speaking of New York, the Mets have now won 4 straight themselves, riding strong starting pitching to keep pace atop the standings. It was a huge day for fantasy managers with 2 separate 2-homer performances. Pete Crow-Armstrong went deep twice for the Cubs, and Shohei Ohtani matched him with a 2-homer, 3 RBI night for the Dodgers. Christian Encarnacion Strand was a streaming caliber at even in a loss, going 3 for 5 with 4 RBI for Baltimore. In Cincinnati's doubleheader nightcap, Eugenio Suarez went 3 for 3 with an RBI, and Jordan Walker backed up his multi-hit game with a stolen base, giving him a well-rounded fantasy line on the day. That's a wrap on today's action. Hit subscribe so you never miss a recap, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for more MLB highlights.